This is just a little quick video. This is a 2-year-old Mustang, and I'm just going to show you a little bit how I treat him the same as I treat horses. I don't put them on the short bus. Same rules apply. They can never touch me for the rest of their life, but I can touch them anytime I want. This horse is good and gentle, but he's pushy. He kind of ignores people. He kind of ignores you. And he's not focusing. Now, they've done a really nice job with him as far as getting him gentle. But just because it's a Mustang doesn't mean that there needs to be limitations put on him. I absolutely want him to be as responsive as just a regular horse. And there's a lot of people out there that get that. And I get a few in, not very many. I'm not a Mustanger. I just work with horses. So that's the only way I know to work with horses, is to work with them like they're horses. He keeps crowding up here. He's learned a little bit of how to ignore you. He's learned a little bit of how to be pushy. I've fooled with him a couple of times and just thought maybe this would be a quick video, a good video for you. I know he's not going to strike me or bite me or run over me. He's just pushy. He's so used to humans now that he almost, familiarity breeds contempt. So we need to step him up into the world of just being a horse so that we can help him go on to other things. He's just 2, and he's a pretty good sized one. So let's see what we can get done. And I'm not going to do anything any different. I guess that's the point of the video, is I'm going to work on what I need to work on when I need to work on it, and just dance with who took to the party. Just because he's got a freeze brand on his neck don't mean I'm going to treat him special. I'm just not. I'll show you. He needs to learn to get back quite a bit. Now I'm going to let him look at this. I'm not going to attack him, but he touched it, so I can touch him. And all of these things that we're doing with him, all the people that have Mustangs do all this stuff. I got to find any places that he won't let me touch him. Now he's standing there good and proper, but can he move? I don't want him stuck. I don't want him being dead and dull. I don't want to take him to the point where we're just making him numb. I want him to respond like a horse. So if I touch that left jaw, can he move his right front foot? I'm going to move him over. There, good enough. I don't care how big he is. I don't care how he's branded. He has to be able to do the same things that a weanling colt can do, and then that needs to be maintained. You can't just not do it because he did it once. Left jaw, right front foot. I need 2 steps this time. There, good enough. Right jaw, left front foot. Right there. I want him to go forward. I'm going to kick him in the belly to go forward. I'm watching him, and if I have to fix a thing, I will. But I'm not going to treat him special. Now, a minute ago, he wouldn't stand still and he kept crowding into us. Now, I want him to go forward. And there he went. I need a circle and just pick straight up like a regular. Yield that inside hind leg and back him up 2 steps. 1, 2, heady. I will tell you this, the days are gone of him just wallowing into us and pushing on us. That's not safe. And it's not good for him either. Left jaw, right front foot. I'm touching it. I want him to step over. There. And I want him to go forward. There. Good. It's all good. Inside hind leg. Left and right. Steady. Sometimes I think people put limitations on them because of the brand on their neck. Well, I don't think you ought to. I think you ought to be able to take any horse to the limit of its physical ability and mental ability, irregardless of breed type or age. If you got a Mustang, you ought to be able to go to the open shows if that's what you want to do. You ought to be able to do anything you want. And there's people that do have Mustangs that do everything. It was a bigger job than maybe a horse that was domestically bred. But I'm going to be fooling around with this one here for a month. And we'll see at the end of the month if my theory is right. I've done this with quite a few of them. Not as many as a real Mustang trainer, but a few of them. And they ought to be able to do whatever a regular horse does with the same attitude. We don't need overreaction. We need response. And we're just going to treat him regular, just like a horse. He gives, I'm going to give back. If he does a thing that isn't mutually beneficial to both of us, we're going to school on him. We're going to work on him. We're not going to beat him, and we're not going to wrap him in cotton. We're just going to treat him like a horse. That bothers him, well then get it fixed. And then pet him. They'll gravitate towards comfort just like any other breed of horse. He has to look at me. He don't get to leave. And if I was working with a horse that had never been touched, I would still be looking at the same things, but I am not going to treat him different so that he can't progress. I want him to progress. I want him to be the best God made him. God don't make junk. He needs to step back when I ask him to. And he needs petted just as much. He doesn't get to look away. He doesn't get to stop. And he will yield his inside hind foot just like everything else. Ray and Tom both said, a horse is a horse. And just like every other kind of horse, there might be one that can run a reining pattern and mark a 75, and there might be one that can run a reining pattern to the best of their ability and only mark a 65. That's just being a horse. Not every horse is going to win the big futurity. But I'm not going to limit him just because he has a brand on his neck. I'm going to take him to the best of his ability. I'm going to take him so that the people that own him can coexist with him and not be concerned about him pushing on them and being dull. Because that's just as dangerous as attacking him. See how he's falling in there? He can stand up. And I'm not going to be worried about him unless I have something to worry about. He doesn't get to dictate direction or speed. That's rule number 2. Inside hind leg. Gets a pat, just like all of them. I'm going to ask him to step up. I got pull pressure on him, that means come forward. Pull pressure means come forward. I'm not going to pull him harder. Only got 3 fingers around there. But he doesn't get to decide when to follow a feel and when not to. He came off that pressure, he gets a pat, just like all of them. There, the leg, he's got to go forward. And he doesn't get to fall on me. He goes forward straight, just like all of them. Now we'll put him around here, and he's got to go forward. Now he's got to follow the feel and turn, and step over, and go forward. Leave him alone. He's going forward. And I won't put him on the pole unless I feel like he's turning inside out. He needs to go forward. He doesn't get to decide when and where. He doesn't get to stop. There. Now he has to turn. His work ethic needs to be as good as all the rest of them. That was a good circle. Now he needs to turn. There, but he doesn't get to stop. He has to be as good as all the rest of them. Just like that. He don't get to fall in on me. That overreacting, he's doing that to himself. Good. Now he has to turn. Good. He doesn't have to trot, he just has to move. real bad about looking to the outside of the circle. We'll work on it. It's like all the rest. Inside hind leg. He needs to turn. I'm touching his jaw. He needs to turn. And go forward. And not look to the outside of the circle. Now he needs to turn again. Now we're going to inside hind leg, and he needs to follow this feel. He doesn't get to stick. He doesn't get to decide. But I'm not going to be any mean to him. We're just going to dance with who we took to the party. And he thinks that laying on that is good. I'm just going to show him that laying on it ain't. And we are not going to treat him special. But he is not going to crowd into us. I think that if we just dance with who we took to the party, no matter the breed, no matter the age, we can help them all. And that's just a thought. Well, anyway, this is a 2-year-old Mustang, and I am not going to treat him special. Bye.